everybody, so today we're going to be reading Your Devotion, Slasher's ex-listener up in here. I don't even know how to say it. We're currently in chapter 13, but we're going to go back to chapter 12 to quickly get over the recap. So, if you guys don't remember, we kind of got stressed out by our partners because we told them about a balloon that we've been seeing, hint, and a red balloon in particular, and saying that it popped, covered us in blood. They didn't see it, but we saw it and felt it, and we washed it off, but they didn't see anything on us. And it was just a back and forth type of banter, and it ended not so well. Mika ended up following her to school and talking to him and, you know, kind of satisfying him, which I hate that we do. Oh my lord. And that we're gonna hang out with him Halloween. And after all this little chit chat with Mikael and, you know, having like these kind of plans that kind of excite us a little bit, and we're like, yes, this is actually a good way to spend time with him. And, you know, just kind of like thinking positively, you know, whatever. And then our friends, which understandably Amber would be me, like, why izquierdo? ¿Por qué tú no te, like, por qué tú no me llamaste? Why didn't you call me? Like, and all that, and because she hasn't been communicating with her friends and her other friends as well, which is Cadence, Laura, and etc. And they were just having a little aggressive chit chat and mentioning our quote unquote new boyfriend, which Hannibal introduced himself as that dumbass. But I mean, it's true, but he's not the only one. And then thankfully the bell saved us all from making a very crappy excuse. We ended up going to class, them just like glaring at me. I'm not surprised, really. I would glare at myself too. And Rose be the real one and help us get catched up with notes and what I was talking about and everything like that, which is really nice. And it is parents hurt a child, but emotional and mental abuse can hurt just as much, and etc. For me, that is yes, that is the notes. I had to triple make sure. But anyways, we're just like, hey, thank you, don't kill me. Anywho, now we finally are in chapter 13, haunting history. And then this is a little background of like before chapter 12, which is chapter 11, where we argued with Freddy because we thought he's the one who made us have that really realistic dream when it wasn't him. And he actually was talking to Hannibal around that time. So yeah. It was crazy, right? Alright, what the fuck was all that about? The Spring Witch Slasher snapped as soon as Wyan had left the house, dragging his finger knives down the hallway's wallpaper viciously. I want to know, and I want to know now. I don't know. Norman stammered with wide eyes, appearing in the hall alongside Hannibal. She was absolutely hysterical when she woke up. Can you recall what Wyan last said to you? Hannibal questioned in a serious tone of voice, attempting to figure out what was going on by gaining some information, because she might have said something that could have given us a hint to what she was panicking about. Well, Norman hesitated before nervously biting his lip. She said that there was blood all over her. Real, actual blood. That's why she took a shower before she left. Real, actual blood. Hannibal mused over the unhappy male's response with interest, flashing Freddy a firm look while he began to put two and two together. Except me and Miguel didn't see any blood. It was so strange, Norman explained anxiously, sounding more and more distressed. And then basically there's a background of she was talking to Norman as soon as like, as he tried to comfort her, and she was like, no, don't touch me, blood everywhere. And then he was like, what do you mean there's no blood all any part of you? And Mika said the same thing, but we insisted. Anyways, continuing, now current. I can. The dream demon muttered icily, glaring at the floor as he delved into Norman's previous thoughts. I can see it. And it came from that fucking red balloon. Red balloon? What red balloon? Norman frowned, glancing at Hannibal in complete and utter confusion. I'd rather explain it in my office. The psychiatrist politely responded, turning around before heading upstairs. If you understand where I'm coming from. Exactly. Are you fucking kidding me? We don't have time for this. Freddy growled furiously, following the other two into Hannibal's office, and yet still follows orders, huh? Wine's currently at her psychology class, remember? Hannibal reminded the other slasher in a condescending fashion. Not to mention Mikael's with her, so she's not in any sort of danger. For the moment, at least. He coldly taunted, leaning against the wall and crossing his arms while Hannibal and Norman both sat at the desk. Kruger, if you're going to behave like a child, then leave the room. Hannibal sighed in return, searching for one of his many books and ignoring the demonic killer. Why are you opening a book? Norman curiously wondered, not to mention a history book out of all things. Because this history book will help me explain why Wine's suddenly acting this way. The psychiatrist replied in his usual professional manner, from the red balloon all the way to the invisible yet strangely realistic blood. Is Wine okay? The fearful man worriedly inquired, his troubled tone causing Freddy to roll his eyes and scoff. She's perfectly fine, so there's no need to worry about her physical state. Norman calmed Norman down with a pleasant smile and flicked to a certain chapter, wanting to explain as swiftly as possible. The matter at hand is about Derry, Maine, not about YN. But none of us live there, Norman protested feebly, growing even more bewildered by his words. So how can Derry be behind all this? Because that's where it first made its appearance. Hannibal smoothly explained, pointing to a specific photo within a newspaper report. For example, do you see that girl there? The girl in the photograph? Betsy Ripson? So Norman slowly read out loud, not understanding why she was so important as he stared at said picture. Yes, her. In May 8, 1989, she went missing. Her body never recovered or found by anyone. The psychiatrist told him solemnly, and that's when the rest of us knew that it had awoken. But 1989 was years ago, Norman argued back, placing both hands on the desk before standing up. So, how could it? Time has little to no meaning for it. Instead, this evil entity reawakens every 27 years. Hannibal cut across him casually, flipping to another part of the book and pointing again. It wakes up to feed, to satisfy its hunger, if you will. To satisfy its hunger? Norman uneasily echoed, this horrifying history causing him to now feel scared. What else do you think it does, idiot? Freddy insulted sharply, throwing Norman another malicious glare. I mean, really, for fuck's sake, you can be so fucking stupid sometimes. You need to relax. Though, with that said, Hannibal raised his voice to speak over the dream demon and roll his eyes, wanting to continue without any more unnecessary conflict. In August, an unusual group of teenagers defended themselves against it, and assumed that they've defeated said monster. Wouldn't that mean it's gone then? Norman asked, narrowing his eyes at Freddy and ignoring his immature insult. He said assumed for a reason. The sharp-tongued slasher lazily interjected, trying to stir up trouble by pushing Norman's buttons. Fucking imbecile. Unfortunately, assuming things does not necessarily make them true. Hannibal turned his attention towards Norman with a grave tone and dipped his head as a nod, justifying Freddy's crude remark, which can now only mean one thing. Norman miserably repeated, sitting back down and folding his arms. It has returned. That's why YN saw a red balloon. That's why she saw actual blood. And that's why she is so on edge. It's pursuing her. Hannibal summed up emotionlessly, shutting the book and pushing it back onto the shelf once more. What the fuck are we waiting for then? Freddy venomously snarled, smashing his metal claws against Hannibal's desk and sending his laptop flying towards the floor. If it really is after YN, she isn't gonna just stand. She isn't gonna even fucking stand a chance. Let's face it. Oh my, I had no idea that you worried so much over YN's well-being. The psychiatrist smugly mocked, acting amused as he paid no attention to the dream demon's violent behavior. Could it be that you actually care about her more than you let on? Don't even start. Freddy spat at him with uncontrollable hate, storming out of the office and slamming the door shut behind him. Must he always act that way? Hannibal shook his head and released another false sigh, tucking the broken remains of his laptop into one of the desk drawers. So, how are we going to protect YN? Norman spoke in despair, staring at the other male with a dejected expression. After all, she can't stay at her psychology class forever. To tell you the truth, I haven't got the slightest clue. Hannibal mulled over the said subject thoughtfully. This is something I'm going to have to look into. Until then, I don't want you to tell YN anything about the red balloon, the disturbing history, the wicked entity. Anything. Alright? Alright. This is why you bitches get negative zeros. Chapter 14. The Dancing Clown. Time ticked as you decided to focus for once, taking down notes while daydreaming about your upcoming time with Mikael, spending Halloween together after class. It seemed like so much fun. Carving pumpkins together, putting up decorations, tasting candy. Heck, you couldn't wait! Still, you glanced to the side a second time and you swallowed nervously, curious as to how you were going to explain to your friends. Then again, Cadence didn't seem to care that much. She didn't seem to mind at all. But Amber and Laura, they were definitely aggravated by your disappearing acts and bizarre behavior. You just have to make it up to them somehow. It was just... how? Okay, you'd better start explaining now. Amber interrupted your thoughts fiercely, standing next to your desk as soon as your teacher had finished said lecture. Hey, class literally just ended. You replied awkwardly, feeling stressed when your other two friends both appeared beside her as well. So, what does that have to do with anything? Why have you been ignoring us? Laura joined in with a sharp tone of voice, placing both palms of her hands down your desk forcefully. It wasn't intentional, I swear. I would have packed my shit and ran. I'd be like, no. But then again, I would have told them everything. Because if they were my besties, I would have told them everything. You protested anxiously, biting your lip while you attempted to defend your disappearances. It's just, moving houses and all. You've got to be kidding me. Amber exploded in frustration, huffing. This can't be just because you moved houses. I mean, you were missing for 3 whole days. This does all sound rather suspicious. Cadence cut in the conversation carefully. After all, the Skype call was supposed to explain what was going on, and yet you never showed. Can't you just tell us what's going on? Aren't we all friends here? Apparently not, considering she doesn't want to hang out with us anymore. Laura coldly chimed in, narrowing her eyes as she stared you down. Do you have new friends or something? Is it these new roommates? Hey, that's not it at all. You argued defensively. Climbing to your feet, Wilt, you watch almost all the other students leave the classroom. Why would you say that? It's not even been a week. I don't know what to think of you anymore. Laura bit back bluntly, her harsh words shocking both you, Amber, and Cadence. From supposedly moving houses to never visiting me at the hospital like Katie and Am did, then missing classes out of nowhere. You never miss classes. Laura, that's a little... I'm allowed to spend time with other people, You snap in return, tears sparkling at the edge of your eyes, whilst you wiped them and spoke over Cadence. My roommates are different from other people. They're introverts, and that's why I've been so secretive about them, okay? Laura, Amber, come on. Cadence decided to calm the situation down and comfort you at the same time. All we wanted to know is the truth, and I think we've pushed enough. Your new roommates being introverted doesn't explain why you don't tell us. Laura lost her temper heatedly, her hands slipping to the edge of the desk and gripping it tightly. In fact, that just makes them sound even more strange. Why can't you just tell us anything about them? Huh? Their names, their occupations, anything. Amber sided with Laura, complaining about your roommates and therefore hurting you further. Because they don't want people to know about them, Amber, you angrily retorted, shaking your head as you shoved your textbooks into your bag and zipped it shut. For God's sakes, can you just leave my other friends alone? Or do you always have to go poking your nose around in other people's business? Hey, all she wanted to do was make sure you weren't dealing with something serious. Yeah, she's dealing with something serious. Laura defended Amber's actions with a fury attitude, both girls growling offended by this point. Poke my nose in other people's business. Amber repeated with a stunned expression, disbelief coloring her face while hurt clouded her gaze. Yeah, are you that full that you don't even recognize it? You insulted swiftly, not realizing how dark you sounded as you switched personality completely. You've always been that way, from planning a party and inviting people just because they invited you to theirs last year, to just inviting boys because they're cute. I mean, sheesh, how shallow can you get? What the hell, YN? Cadence questioned with wide eyes, clasping both hands to her chest as she gasped a little bit. What has gone into you? Amber and Laura were just worried about you. You're our friend, and, well, why don't the three of you just stop harassing me about my new friends and leave me alone? Hoisting the strap of your bag onto your shoulder, you pushed past your friends and left the classroom, feeling oddly resentful towards them. Still, those tears continued to streak down your face as you left them behind. Why? Why did you say that towards them? Rubbing your eyes, you started to softly cry, exiting the building and heading on your way home. What you did, that was cruel. Utterly cruel. But you felt such irritation. It was like you were forced to argue. Like someone was watching over your shoulder and toying with your emotions. Shaking your head again, you stopped in the middle of the empty street and stiffened up, seeing yet another burgundy balloon. You weren't crazy. Someone had to be behind this. Someone. Anyone. Hello? You called out curiously, cupping your hands around your mouth and trying to catch anyone's attention. Is this a joke? Because if it is, it's really not fun. Hi, Hawaiian. A happy-go-lucky voice greeted you in return. Excuse me. Sound coming from the side of the street, which, with a startled shriek, you fell backwards, not expecting to hear someone speak from below the road. Who are you? You wildly demanded, eyeing the golden gaze that stared back at you with dark amusement. And what are you doing in the sewers, out of all places? You look like a pretty girl. I bet you have a lot of friends. They carried on sweetly, their childlike personality throwing you off entirely. A few. You told the person skeptically, narrowing your eyes as you slowly got back up to your feet and bent down. 5, if I had to count. What about those other 3? The ones you just fell out with? Said stranger, tilted their head to the side and released a little laugh, plainly finding it to be funny. How do you know about that? You quizzed with a doubtful tone, feeling several chills run down your spine while you wondered what to say to this unusual person. Well, why else would a pretty little thing be filled with tears? Those mean girls picked on you again, now didn't they? The stranger cooed in a condescending manner, their words being oddly soothing towards you and what had just happened. No, it was me. You mumbled guiltfully, shame spreading across your face as you felt humiliation. I was the mean one. And just how are you the mean one? The individual interestingly inquired. Being a bit too hard on yourself there, don't you think so, Wyan? I said such cruel words. Words that I didn't mean. You admitted with a sad sigh, wiping your eyes whilst you struggled to keep your composure and stay calm. I bet I could cheer you up. How about I give you another balloon? Do you want a balloon, YN? They try to comfort you warmly, making one of those crimson balloons appear and holding it by the pale string. No thanks. I don't usually take things from strangers. You mentioned seriously, wanting to behave stern and strict all in one, especially from random people down in the sewers. No offense. Oh well, I'm Pennywise, the dancing clown. Pennywise introduced himself with a devilish grin, letting the balloon float past you and into the darkening sky. Pennywise? You echoed wonderingly, slight fascinated by said name. Pennywise, yes. Meet Wyan. Wyan, meet Pennywise. No, we aren't strangers now, are we? The dancing clown cleveringly commented, his mischievous expression causing you to laugh in return. I suppose not. Brushing a strand of your hair behind your ear, you flashed a friendly smile back at him, your mood becoming somewhat lighter. So what are you doing down there in the sewer anyway? A storm blew me away. Blew the whole... Wyan, don't listen to him. Oh, you really said no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. Chapter 15. Halloween Horrors. Wyan, don't listen to him. Norman? You stammered in surprise, turning your attention away from the sewer and towards the timid teen sprinting in your general direction. I thought you'd be at home. What are you doing here? You're okay. You're okay. Oh, thank goodness. You're okay. Norman cried out with alarm, flinging his arms around you and cuddling you into you lovingly. Of course I am. Why wouldn't I be? I was just talking to... And just who were you talking to, Wyan? Hannibal's voice cut into the conversation carefully. A serious look spread across his face as he approached the three of you. Well, you said three, but I was talking to Pennywise. You told the truth honestly, glancing back at the sewer and stiffening up when you realized he was suddenly gone. That guy is dangerous. Norman panicked while holding tight. His hold on you tightened considerably. He was lying to you, lying the whole time. Take Wyan home. Hannibal murmured into Norman's ear urgently, taking one look at the sewer before glancing back at the other male. This is far too dangerous. Not to mention Mikael's been out searching for her. Worried sick. Come on, Wyan. Grabbing your hand, Norman began dragging you in the direction of where you all lived. Their strange behavior making you feel somewhat surprised. What's going on? Why? We'll explain later, dear Wyan dearest. Please understand. Considerate of you, but... You hurriedly hesitated, trailing off when you noticed the time and remembered Hannibal's words about Mikael. Norman's right. I'd better be going back home anyway. Come on, Wyan. Norman spoke coolly, pulling you in the direction of home via your wrist, ignoring the pleasant psychiatrist. We need to go. Can't you at least tell me who that guy in the sewer was? You pushed the matter helplessly, curious as to who he was. He told me his name was Pennywise the Dancing Clown, but for some reason he didn't seem very human. Hannibal or Freddy will explain. Norman nervously replied, his behavior switching from resentful to stressed out. Wait, so Freddy knows something about him too? Your eyes widened at the said news, taken aback by the Dream Demon's part in this chaotic conflict. I can't say I'm sorry, Wyan. Norman started with genuine shame, definitely feeling guilty about hiding the truth. It's for your own good. With a faint sigh, you shook your head and shot him a false smile, knowing that you weren't going to get any further answers from the apprehensive male. No, it's all right. He comforted Norman lightly. I know you guys are just trying to protect me. Silence surrounded both of you for the next few minutes, the two of you just continuing to walk through the trees and make your way home. Although your eyes widened at what you saw on your way back, you could see him. You could see this Pennywise character shifting from the woods and shooting you dark grins. You opened your mouth to say something, but the dancing clown put a finger to his mouth and quietly shushed you, obviously wanting you to stay silent. But why? He wasn't a figment of your imagination, and he definitely didn't seem as dangerous as the others were making him out to be. So why wouldn't anyone tell you anything? Norman, look, isn't that the guy? You raised your finger and exposed Pennywise, waiting for your partner to finally explain. Don't worry about it. Norman's voice grew even more anxious, tugging you towards the front door and unlocking it quickly. Seeing him just proves that what Hannibal said about his abilities. You frowned in bemusement, not understanding what he had said, so before you could properly answer, Mikhail flung his arms around your body and twirled you around obsessively, his movement striking you as unusually possessive. Mikhail, is everything okay? You seem a little bit more aggravated than usual. You awkwardly mentioned, feeling concerned about how uneasy everyone was growing. Whipping out his notepad, he scribbled down his response and handed it to you, irritated by your behavior. Do you know how fucking worried I've been? You didn't wait for me at the gates, and I didn't know where you were until now. Relax. I was only on the street. For some strange reason, no cars or people were around. He reassured Mikhail smoothly, passing his notepad back and hugging the stalker in return. I was just speaking to someone, that's all. Really. The masked male tilted his head to the side and wrapped his arms around you tightly, resting his head atop yours, while also nuzzling into your hair cutely. Anyway, didn't you want to decorate the house with Halloween decorations this evening? You asked amusingly, placing your palms against Mikhail's chest and looking up at him. The mute killer nodded eagerly, grasping your wrist with one hand and guiding you into the living room before showing you a shopping bag, one filled with Halloween things. Ooh, I'm so excited! He explained enthusiastically, clasping your hands together and looking down at said stuff. What should we do first? Mikhail shrugged, his mood switching due to your sweet state and mellow mindset to be absolutely adorable. Why don't we... You trailed off innocently, your hesitation increasing as you looked down at everything. Why don't we start with some spooky Halloween garlands? We could hang them across the windows, from the doorways, just have a ton of fun with them, you know? He nodded a second time, obviously overjoyed by your suggestions while not being able to wait. Come on then. What are we waiting for? After sending him a warm smile, you nudged his side and brought out some colorful paper, using a pair of scissors and began to cut and create patterns. An hour or two passed as you both spent time together, you humming under your breath while doing different activities, such as hanging at the decorations, carving the pumpkins, and then placing them outside together. Nighttime eventually showed, and so you finished Halloween off by watching a horror film. You and Mikhail snuggled on the sofa with a bowl of popcorn. It was tremendously fun, especially because of how close he was holding you. And from time to time, your quiet boyfriend would stroke your hair. The movie watching, popcorn munching, and cuddling being super duper endearing. It really cheered you up, and it calmed you down after what you endured today. You want to know what the best part about today? You lovingly spoke up, holding his chest and looking into his dark orbs with an enormous amount of affection. What? Mikhail wrote down in a curious scribble, tilting his head a tad while he passed his notepad over. Spending Halloween with you. You murmured into his ear sweetly, wrapping your arms around his neck and hugging him. That is... When will it be my turn? When will it be me? Damn. Getting called out here. I'm a little jealous, you know, gang. I'm a little jealous, girl. I'm a little jealous. Chapter 16. Startling surprise. Your comment caused Mikhail to become extremely overexcited, the silent male curling his arms around you and returning, cuddling you even tighter than before. The two of you lying together on the sofa, watching the movie with the bowl of popcorn placed on the floor. It was just so romantic. The way he was treating you. Tonight was definitely going well in your opinion. So much so in the fact that you completely and utterly forgot about Pennywise, let alone your friends, to be perfectly honest. Spending time with your partners was much more satisfying. A soft smile spread across your face once you thought that, your stressed out worries washing away soon after. I love you so fucking much. Is there anything else you want to do? Was Mikhail's next reply, his loving message making your heart flutter for a few minutes later. Though his question made you hesitate, your thoughts becoming clouded with a certain request. Still, you were together, right? So it shouldn't matter. Well, You trailed off timidly, unsure of where to go from there or what to say. I love you too, so if it's not too much to ask, I mean, a kiss would be nice from time to time. Your shy response seemed to make Mikael very happy. The stalker pulling the bottom of his mask almost immediately was also moving closer to you. Heavy pink dusted your cheeks as his gentle lips pressed against yours, his mouth kissing you with the utmost of care and complete devotion. However, Mikael's breathing grew ragged, one of his rough hands cradling the side of your face while the other one continued to stay wrapped around your waist possessively. Crawled out on the sofa, Mikael holding you this intimately. You couldn't contain your emotions either. So you grasped his shoulders and let your surroundings fade away, kissing back as your eyes shut on their own. Your heartbeat spiraled out of control, your entire body weakening in how much you wanted Mikael at this specific point in time. Minutes passed by like mere seconds, his endearing embrace and tender touches only adding to the passionate moment before he rolled on top. His sadism shining through the cracks. It even made you lightly giggle, not surprised at all by his sudden, loving actions. Why wouldn't a sadistic serial killer behave in such a manner? It wasn't his nature, anyway. You were done with society. Breaking free of their shackles was way more enjoyable, much more fun. Tonight's been great. You spoke against his lips, contently, a little breathless due to the insanely charming kiss. From the Halloween decorating all the way down to right now. So, thank you. Mikael shot you an adoring gaze before pulling his mask back down and sitting up. His only reason being because he wanted to reply with his trustworthy notepad. Anytime. You are my everything. Aw, Mikael. You breathed affectionately, finding his response to be incredibly cute. As you sat up against the sofa cushions too. That's just so sweet of you. It's getting late. You should sleep. I guess you have a point there. You agreed with an amused expression, a dry grin sliding across your face as you noticed the bowl of popcorn and other mess you've both made. Though, do me a quick favor real quick. Mikael tilted his head a tad and glanced at you in slight bemusement, not understanding what you want this late at night. Would you mind tidying up everything, like carrying the popcorn into the kitchen, rearranging the sofa cushions, and other things? I mean, I don't know about you, but I'd rather not have Freddie Norman have jealous temper tantrums after a good time. Of course, anything for you. Mikael immediately agreed, giving you a tight hug straight after you both stood up. See you in a bit. You rested your head against his chest and wrapped your arms around him, feeling very relaxed as said emotion washed through your veins. He nodded without saying a word, though he knew he was utterly delighted by how much love and attention you were giving him this evening. After a minute or two, however, you broke the hug, deciding to go upstairs and sleepily switch clothes. Passing Norman and Hannibal in the hallway wasn't as stressful as you assumed either, though your thoughts about Norman being largely jealous were obviously correct. The only thing that seemed to soothe the frustrated male was when you held his shoulders and planted a soft kiss on his lips, relieved when your plan worked. Fortunately, it did, and so his resentment towards Mikael faded, well, to some degree at least. So, you had enough of Myers for tonight then, I assume? Hannibal politely commented, causing you to grow flustered and break away from the kiss. I wouldn't necessarily say had enough of. You disagreed calmly, noticing his faintly irritated smile and connecting the dots immediately. It's just getting rather late, that's all. I'm a little out of it. So, Norman wasn't the only one. I see. Well, in that case, I hope you gain sufficient sleep tonight and feel well rested in the morning, my dear. Hannibal sweetly replied, hiding his true emotions as he allowed you to pass him and head upstairs. Still, there must be some way to soothe his bottled aggression. If you need me, you know where to find me, you told him warmly, holding both of his hands in yours and pressing your lips against his lovingly. See you in the morning, Hannibal. Once you'd done that, you gave his hands a light squeeze and brushed past him, wanting to finally make it upstairs and obtain some calming sleep. But After you opened your bedroom door and shut it behind you, you froze, realizing that wishing for a break was beyond you at this point. No, seriously. Because what stood in front of you was stained with blood, their golden eyes glinting with mischief, whilst you pondered what to do or what to say. You couldn't even cry out or call for help, too surprised to speak for a few seconds. Those seconds eventually passed, though, and you cleared your throat, eyeing said person with massive suspicion. How did you get in here? I'm sorry, I have to leave y'all on that cliffhanger. I'm so sorry, but I promised myself, and I just promised myself. I'm sorry, y'all. I got interrupted, but anyway, what do you guys think is gonna happen next in the next chapter? I think it's gonna get pretty interesting from there, because honestly, if I saw a blood-soaked clown, first my reaction is, because I wouldn't always completely close my door, I just slam that bitch right back open and run. I'm like, Hannibal, y'all need to get in there. Y'all need to do what y'all do best and fight. Y'all need to do what y'all do best and fight pettily as much as you can. Like, no ma'am. No ma'am. If I can't even, like, bruh, if I see, like, even a spider in my room and it's not even I'm running out this fucking door. I'm running, bro. No. If it was a clown, running out the fucking other way. Running, keeping my eyes, but running backwards. Makes sense? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Oh, no. I would be in tears, bro. I'd already be in tears. In tears, I say, in tears. But, yeah, could not be me. Could not be me. Oh, what do you think is gonna happen to our poor YN? Do you think she will survive this encounter? Ooh. Do you think she'll be kidnapped? Let me know in the comments down below. Anywho, I do hope you guys did enjoy this story. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more amazing videos, guys. But before we completely end this, we have one more little thing. And it's time to read 100 short scary stories. Okay, so we are in the second one, Charlie. All right. I hate it when my brother Charlie must go away. My parents constantly try to explain to me how sick he is. That I am lucky for having a brain where all the chemicals flow properly to their destinations like undammed rivers. When I complain about how bored I am without a little brother to play with, they try to make me feel bad by pointing out that his boredom likely far surpasses mine, considering he's confined to a dark room in an institution. I always beg for them to give him one last chance. Of course, they did at first. Charlie has been back home several times, each shorter in duration than the last. Every time without fail, it all starts again. The neighborhood cats with gouged out eyes showing up in his toy chest. My dad's razors found dropped into the baby's slide in the park across the street. Mom's vitamins replaced by bits of dishwasher tablets. My parents are hesitant now, using last chances sparingly. They say his disorder makes him charming, makes it easy for him to fake morality, and to trick the doctors who care for him into thinking he's ready for rehabilitation. That I will just have to put up with my boredom if it means staying safe from him. I hate it when Charlie must go away. It makes me have to pretend to be good until he is back. All right. How old are we? It doesn't matter even how old we are. Just like, what the fuck? Okay, so I'm gonna explain it to the ones who didn't get it, because I know there's some slow ones that didn't get it, and it's okay if you're a slow one. It's okay. I relate, but that's only in math. But basically, what's happening here is girl got a brother. He's been sending in and out of institutions because the parents assumed for him to be the crazy one, because there's stuff of him, quote unquote, doing things, when in reality it's a little girl making it seem like it was him that he's doing these things, but he's not. And every time he leaves, she begs for him to come back so she can continue doing these scary type of shit she's doing. And since they're giving him less chances, the less stuff she's doing to the parents, and they don't know that. They don't know that she's the one doing it. They assume for her to be the innocent victim when in reality she's not. She's the one. She's the perpetrator. So yes, now you get it. Now you get it. You understand it. I'm gonna be reading this throughout October, so I'm very excited. Yay! But yes, that was the excitement I was all excited for. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I like these type of things. But, you know, so short-lived, but it's okay. But I do hope you guys did enjoy these videos. And this 100 short stories, it will be in the link down below. Every time that they show up in these videos, it will be a link of said story if you want to read it on your own throughout October, which chill with me. I don't care. And then the author at the same time if you can't, if the link does not work. So yeah, to help you guys out a little bit, you know, to help you guys out. But sadly, your girl's gotta go because she's tired. And I bet everyone who's listening to this is probably tired. Either go to sleep or you can listen to this while you sleep. And if you're listening to this, well, I hope you have an amazing sleep and no bad dreams. Because, honestly, we're having enough bad dreams in the fan fiction in the first place, right? Right? But, anyways, your girl's gotta go. I hope you guys have an amazing night, day, wherever you're at. Peaceful time. And I shall see y'all in the next future video, depending on what fan fiction you'd like for me to read to you guys. I'll see y'all next time. See ya.